Hello everyone, and welcome back to another preview video for the tribute to Normandy DLC for Steel Division 2, and this time we look at 9th Panzer, a really cool division in Normandy 44, and an interesting one here as well, because yeah, it's one of the old divisions created back in 1940, taking part in everything after the French conquest, and in 1944 being moved to France to be reformed and to also be there as a backup against any possible invasion. It was lacking tanks though, so it's playing more like a mechanized division, and we're gonna see that here as well. For tank division, it has pretty few tank slots. It has quite a lot of infantry and recon slots though, and it has some interesting units for sure. You get some BMW R75, you get some Scharfschützen, and the thing that in Normandy was its strength, where it was mostly locked to Panzer 1s and Panzer 2s in A phase, and we have the Panzer 1C here once more with a AP 7.9mm MG or autocannon kind of thing here with 25mm of penetration, so one of the lowest penetration guns in the game. Decent rate of fire, has an HE bullet as well, so it can double MG fire onto enemy infantry, but yeah, the 25 penetration AP power here on a 15-point vehicle is interesting. Availability is interesting as well. Veterancy pretty strong too. Unlike second, you don't get free veterancy here, but still vet curve pretty good. And you get some Aufklärers, which can come up to an SDKFZ and a good amount of options here. From A phase onboard, Spätruppe, which can come in SDKFZs as well. And half tracks from A phase onward, locked onto some veterancy here. 250/8 with the short barreled only HE 75mm. Looks always cool. Obviously solid 20mm, pretty decent availability and veterancy curve nowadays as well, so looks quite cool here as well. 234 with some heat shells and the 75mm cannon here, so pretty good as well. Only A phase for this one. 234/1 with the 20mm autocannon, good option as well, and a Panzer 4J, which can come in A phase and can come with decent availability and veterancy here as well. So Panzer 4J Recon, interesting option to get some extra tanks here. You get 2 cards of these, so your tank problems can be solved a bit here if you want to already. And Recon tab, pretty solid one. Infantry tab, interesting one as well. You start with Ersatztruppen, not that great. You get Cossack and Pioneer, which we already talked about, for 15 points, a TNT unit with a light machine gun. That's a really strong squad. Availability not the most amazing, but cost efficiency on these guys kind of through the roof. Really, really strong unit here. Cossack and Pioneer, we saw them before now in 716th, and they are really strong here as well. Good unit to have. Grenadier 15V on the other hand, not that great. Disheartened, normal Grenadiers, so that's not great. No AT weapons. Availability is good, but that's about it for these guys. So next to normal Grenadiers, they only have the availability, and I'm not sure if that's enough. Normal Grenadiers already not that amazing, and they have the Panzerfaust in this combination here, so not that amazing. Would always go for the normal Grenadiers, but even that might not be necessary in this. Pioneer Führer, solid. Has only the horse here. Panzer Grenadier Führer, coming in with some cool options. Some 251/9 and /10. The Pak 35 and the 75mm cannon and a MG. So decent, cool transport option here for the Panzer Grenadier Führer. Panzerfaust, four-man leader. Panzerfaust not the most amazing thing here, but the 20-point leader is a good one always, and it has a radio, so it's a solid leader option here, especially if you want to bring it with some extra stuff. Sturmpioneers with some veterancy here, pretty solid as well. 20-point flamethrower unit. Grenadier Führer can come only in the normal stuff. Has the smoke, but 5 points extra here compared to Grenadier and Panzer Grenadier and the Pioneer Führer, and doesn't have cool transports, so not sure if you really want to go for that. And then we come to another strong squad in this division, the Panzer Grenadier G43. You have them next to the Panzer Grenadier Panzerfaust, and in trade against the Panzerfaust, they get G43 rifles, leaving them with pretty great firepower on that 500 meter range engagements. G43 plus MG42, MG42s really leave them as really efficient mid-range squad for 30 points. Panzer Grenadiers are always kind of mid. This one, a good bit cooler, a good bit better in the firepower department. And if you want to have some Panzerfaust, you can still get the normal Panzer Grenadier Panzerfaust here next to it. So the amount of Panzerfaust with the Panzer Grenadier Führer and potentially some Grenadiers and so on should be decent enough. But the 2 cards of Panzer Grenadier G43 I for sure would take in some shape or form in this deck. Yeah, you should use up both cards depending on how you play the deck, but both of these should be used. So pretty solid infantry tab, one of the better ones for sure in the game. Not top tier, but pretty solid with the Kosaken Pioneer and the Panzer Grenadier G43. Nice tab there. Tank tab, really focused on Panzer IVs here. You get 1 card of Tigers, and they are locked to be with highest veterancy. And you get Panzer II Lux Leader, which you only get an A phase. Availability not amazing, a decent price though. And yeah, a good leader unit if you want to have a leader, maybe even as an infantry leader here in a town where you want to have an autocannon. The Panzer Grenadier Panzer II Lux Führer can be pretty nice. Panzer 4G and Panzer 4H is standard, trading frontal armor for 10 points. Usually worth it. Panzer 4G I would always take, and then you can take some Panzer 4Hs whenever you want to. In addition, availability is the same. So yeah, decent Panzer IV based tank with a couple of additions, a couple of autocannons and so on. So decent tank tab as well. Panzer IV not the most amazing, but it can work. And the G1 is always nice. Support tab, a pretty solid one as well. MG34 and MG42, but also some flamethrowers, some Flammenpanzers. Though tabs are really limited, so it will be tough to see what you take here. You kind of need the Gorilla, you need some supplies, and then I guess you could fill with a commander, you could fill with some MGs. But obviously support tab and tank tab, not the strength of this tank division here. Anti-tank tab on the other hand is a pretty strong one. Not the most amazing we have seen, but a pretty cool one. You get some other 3s with F-22s, you get some other 3Ms here with PaK-40s, you get some solid, cute hybrid of fire Panzerjägers. These are always great when they show up. You get 2 cards of Jagdpanzers, and it's the normal Jagdpanzer IV with 130mm instead of the AO with only 110mm frontal armor. You get 2 cards of PaK-40s. No PaK-38s is the only weakness I would say this tab has. If you would have a card of PaK-38s, or obviously you could have some PaK-43s as well. But like for standard German tab, the cheap PaK-38 is kind of missing. But with these, you kind of have that covered. And you have enough autocannons and so on to deal with half-tracks anyways. So only cheaper mid-sized tanks are a bit of an issue. And there, yeah, the other units here should have you covered as well. So PaK-40s here, kind of nice. AA tab, pretty solid as well. You get 2 cards of Möbelwagen, pretty key. Good unit. Availability not amazing. Everything else pretty good. You get a flak feeling. The 20mm not so important. Flak 37 can be nice as well. Not the greatest availability, so you need to be a bit careful there, but it's still good enough that you for sure should get through the game. So AA covered solidly as well. And then we get a pretty standard artillery tab with 3 cards of the classic German here, LEFH, SK18, Sheriff Feldhaubitze 18, all the standard German guns there. Some captured Russian CIS-3s, which can be solid as well with radio. Like the radio versions are pretty nice, so if you can get radios to the front line, this one actually can be pretty good as well. Both mortars here, Hummels as well, and then you get a solid off-map as well with the Beobachtungspanzer 3H, which is interesting because it's the only Panzer 3 in this deck, which feels a bit out of place. The Panzer 4 Beobachtungspanzer would have been maybe cooler, but it is what it is. Panzer 3H off-map it is here. And then the air tab is a pretty standard one. You get a cluster bomber, which is nice. Get decent availability. bombers, the only thing you get is J87D3 with 50 kilogram bombs, so really limited there. But you get some Focke-Wulfs which are decent, you get some Focke-Wulf rockets which can do okay, good availability, so it's not the worst air tab ever, but it's not a strong one for sure. But it shouldn't be, as Normandy 44 was not the strong part of the Luftwaffe for sure. Cool snakes is always here, looking hot. That rocket plane is quite nice. So yeah, the division, good recon, solid infantry, pretty competitive infantry, tank and anti-tank tab covering the bases as well with some Tigers, some Jagdpanzers, some nice Malers and Panzer IVs. So it can push nicely. Guerrilla helping out a good bit as well. Artillery functional, absolutely functional. Anti-air absolutely functional. It's a solid deck. Knife Panzer is one of the better German kind of mechanized decks. As yeah, Panzer, you really don't want to use them too much as a direct Panzer division. You get a lot of half tracks here, so you can really use them as the mechanized force and push with that, and that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to playing 9th. It sounds like a fun division, and yeah, hope you like it as well, and I hope you liked the video. If you did, consider leaving a subscription, a like, and a comment down below. And with that said, bye bye, and see you next time.